What's up guys, Piotr here, Actionair Central, and welcome to the video. So recently I bought this Army High Kappa, and it's R501, and yeah, this is going to be my review. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's get it. So a couple of things before we start, a short disclaimer if you will. This is by no means a paid review of any sort. It's actually my first review, so please cut me some slack. And it's going to be a short-term review since I've put only about like 400 rounds into the pistol. So can't really say much about the long-term use of it, but I'll definitely have a few or a lot of points to talk about the short-term. And yeah, just also please remember that my views might be a bit skewed because I'm mainly an action air competitor and not like an airsoft player, but I'll try to be as objective as I can. And actually, by the end of the video, I have some use cases summary that you might find interesting. So, like the TLDR, for those that don't have much time, and this video might get a bit lengthy, I don't know, is that overall I think it's a pretty good gun, actually very well made, and awesome value for money. However, I would say that depending on your use case, you might find it better or worse. I'll get into that a bit more. But I would primarily recommend it to airsoft players who just want to buy a nice looking, well-performing pistol for their secondary weapon, and that they don't really fuss about their pistol too much, and they're not going to use it like as a primary. So as a secondary for airsoft players in particular, I think it's a really good choice. For others, it's a bit complicated. So it depends. So why did I even buy this gun? Because, if you've been watching my channel, you're probably aware that I have a heavily upgraded TM Gold match that's right now worth about $700, and it shoots like in laser already. So why do I even bother? Well, the origin story is that when this came out like over a year ago, I think, when I noticed it on the website, I was like, damn, that looks sick. And I started digging more into it, and I saw the island barrel and the hiney sights and the overall design, and I figured that this is my dream kit to get. But then I saw the price, and then I went like, damn. So when I saw that Army came out with the R501, which is basically the identical replica of the Costa gun, with this whole upper being pretty much the same, and I watched some reviews, and I saw that yeah, it seems to be pretty okay. Then I just decided to go with it, and there are a few particular reasons why I did. So first of all is the island barrel design, which means that your front sight is fixed to the compensator, and this means that the recoil of the moving element of the slide does not interfere, and so the sight stays on the target better, which means pretty much better accuracy. So I thought this would be awesome. Then the second part is the combination of the rear sight of the hiney rear sight and the front fiber optic. Right now on my TM gun, I have both fiber optics, so I wanted to see if this will make a difference for me personally. Then the third reason was the grip, which is already cut in over here, and so this gives you a little bit of a higher grip with your hand. It improves your stability, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And of course the price. I mean, this whole pistol costs $75, whereas the Gunsmith Bros kit costs $450 plus. If I wanted to test a grip, that would be like at least another $20. If I went with the Cow, that also has the cutout, and then the sights are probably like $50, and I can't even find them anywhere. So overall, I mean, just for testing this out, it's pretty great. And then obviously I had my whole plan of how am I going to use all of this in practice. So my first goal was that I would just test the pistol out and use the upper for the standard division in IPSC, and then This immediately failed when I went to the practice on Thursday, and the guys told me that I didn't read the rules, which I have read before, but I totally missed the point where it says that in the standard division you can't use a compensator. So my whole plan failed. So, but that's on me, you know. That's why you should always do your research when you buy a gun, and I failed here. Other than that, the goal was to, I mean, I knew that it's probably not going to shoot so awesome out of the box, so I wanted to transplant the internals from my TM to this, and like potentially just put them in the upper and then switch it to the lower of the TM. I'm going to do a whole video on that just to test the compatibility of parts, because I heard it's very TM compatible, the Army gun. So that was the second goal. And then, you know, if that would fail, then, and I would keep the internals in the TM and the Army stock, then I would have a backup gun for when I go to like a bigger competition, which is always nice to have. This failed, by the way, because the gun is not legal for standard play. But then I had backup plans also, so I can always try to take just the grip out and put it in my stock, in my Marui, and just see if it works and maybe use it, because it's actually pretty good. Then also, I'll have the backup mag, at least. I mean, this comes in the box, right? So it's cross-compatible as well. So I can have like a fourth mag, which is always a bonus. And then, actually, even if all that fails, I'll have a cheap gun with some spare parts, at least hard to find ones, which are all the springs, the nozzle possibly, you know, some things to hold you over until you get your, you know, regular upgraded parts, but then you're not stuck with your gun not working. You can use the spares from the Army and put them in your TM and it should work. And then obviously, my case specific, I knew that I will make some content for the channel, so that's always a plus. So those were my reasons for buying this. You should find yours. That's always the case, right? Okay, so let's get into the actual review. So first off, I'm not going to do any unboxings. There's like tons of videos on that. Plus, the unboxing experience, as with many of the Army guns, is pretty meh, since you get your basic yellow box, and inside you'll find the gun, one mag, and a couple of packets of the do not eat thingies. So that's it. So there's nothing to show really. But what is important to talk about is build quality. Okay, so I'm actually very impressed with the build quality. I would rate it as excellent, actually. For such a cheap gun, I was very surprised that it has, it's very well put together. It has no rattle. You really don't hear any sounds when you shake it until you put in the magazine. And then it just starts doing little clacks from the mag. But other than that, it's really well put together. It's all metal where it needs to be. So, you know, the frame is metal, the compensator is metal, the slide is metal, and, you know, the hammer is metal. It is pot metal, so I don't know how that will last. I guess with heavy use, not much, but other than that, as far as build quality goes, it's really great. There are some, you know, unlike the TM, you can see some seams where on the plastic, but I mean, it's not annoying. You can file it down. It's not really a big problem. And what's actually I found quite funny is that the gun itself, empty with no mag, weighs about 630 grams, and my TM, which is upgraded, weighs about 620. So the weight was pretty much identical to my regular high kappa that I use. So again, build quality excellent, nothing to complain here. It's really great. As far as externals, I would also say that they're pretty excellent. Visually, it's awesome. I mean, that's subjective, but me personally, I really like the look of the pistol. I think it looks really cool. So the island barrel design is the key feature here, and I find that extremely awesome. Having tested it out, I can tell you that it works. It's really worth it. It's very rare. So this is, you know, this is not something that you'll find very often. So it's really cool that it's here. it has this compensator, but really in airsoft it doesn't serve much of a purpose other than keeping the front sight together. So that's it. You have a thread here, so you can put a suppressor in. I'm not going to talk about accessories because I don't use them, but there is the rail for it, so you can definitely mount like a light, laser, whatever you want. Sights. So that's like the second feature I was looking forward to. The high knee sights and the front sight. Really cool combination. I find it quite legible, easy to use, worked out great. Then you have, of course, the cut and stippled grip. So I saw in some reviews that the grip, people said that the stippling was too aggressive, and like I even saw some clips where a guy was using a glove and he would put his hand on it, and then when he was taking it off the grip, it was it sticked, right? But mine wasn't really aggressively cut. I could comfortably use it with just bare hands, and I didn't scratch them or anything. It wasn't. I thought I will need to file it down, but I didn't really have to. The cut over here is nice, but I would say it's like not such a huge deal. It's nice to have, basically. What else? The awesome thing here is that you have this built-in magwell, which is plastic, I think. And what's unique about the magwell design is that it has I don't know if you can see that, probably not, but it has a hole in the back so you can put your lanyard in if you don't want to lose it on the field or something. So that's pretty cool. The safeties, I've seen in some other reviews that they would not be fully functional, but in my case they work just fine. And yeah, there's one more thing that I wanted to talk about, and this is actually minor, but if you have handled or disassembled high kappas, you might be interested in this information. The slide catch is actually very well profiled, so it's easy to push in. It's like sometimes you'll have your high kappa that's really flush and over here, and it's hard to push in the pin or push out the pin. In this case, it's very easy to do it, even with short fingernails. So really easy to take the pin out and just disassemble the gun. So props to that. The slide catch itself is short. So for example, if you have small hands like mine, it's a bit difficult to reach. So that's why I really enjoy the extended slide catch on the gold match. In this case, it's short, but it's functional. So overall, the externals I consider to be pretty great. As far as internals go, I would rate it as meh. From what I've heard, they're mostly TM compatible, but I will actually test it thoroughly in the next video, where I will be transplanting all my upgraded parts from the TM to this pistol, and I'll just go over one by one over each one to show you guys which are compatible and which are not. From what I've already noticed, if I take the upper from the Army gun and put it on the TM Gold Match frame, it will not be a drop-in. It will install, but the slide will actually have trouble moving back. There is some tension there, so obviously some parts are touching each other too much and will have to be adjusted for it to work. On the other hand, if you take the TM upper and try to put it on the frame of this pistol, it will not work because the rails on the Army gun are wider than on the TM, so the frame simply cannot slide through and it will just not work. Other than that, the internals are supposed to be compatible, so I'll be exchanging the inner barrel, the hop-up, the rubber, I'll try the blowback housing, which I've also heard needs some fitment, so if it will, I'll probably leave it alone. And I'll just, I'll try the safeties, the mag catch, I'll have those things replaced, and we'll see how that goes. Other than that, you need to know that this is, even though the length of the pistol is in total a 5.1, since it has this compensator at the end, the inner barrel is shorter than on a 5.1, and it's actually the length of a 4.3. So it's about, I think it's 96 millimeters instead of the 113 that's on the 5.1. So you can put in the 5.1 barrel, but it will just extend over to the compensator, so you'll be able to see it through the ports. I'll be doing that. So it has a 4.3 inch size barrel, and that's not great because it obviously lowers the FPS, and it doesn't help with accuracy either, which I'll get to in a second. The other internals are hard to judge. I mean, if you look inside, it's put pretty well together. When you buy the gun, you have a choice of putting in the CO2 nozzle or the gas version nozzle. So I expect the other internals to be already kind of at least reinforced to be able to handle the CO2. If they say that the only thing you need to switch out is the nozzle for the CO2. So I expect them to last maybe a bit longer than just on other guns that don't offer this option. And what I can tell you from experience is that the hop-up and the rubber can actually handle 0.3 gram BBs out of the box, because I did all my testing with 0.3 BBs because those are the ones that I normally use for my TM, and I couldn't be bothered to switch. And so I would say that the tests I did were with BBs that were offering me the best accuracy, and we'll get to that in a moment. And the last but not least is the mag. So this is your standard mag, apart from the mag plate, and this I expect to cause some issues because it's not actually, it's like this proprietary thing here where you get this mag plate that extends halfway and then stops, and I'm actually going to try to disassemble it, but I didn't want to break it yet. So I expect that if you drop the mags and this flies off, it might be, I don't know what will happen then, honestly, but it's a different design. It's not like your normal TM mag where you can just take off the plate and put in a new one, or at least I haven't figured this out yet, but I will in the next video. So that's the mag. Okay, so what do I think about the gun? I'll tell you about the good things and I'll tell you about the bad things. So definitely from the pros, I can say with confidence that the looks are awesome. At least for me personally, I think it looks really good. The island barrel, it's an awesome design. It's unfortunate that it cannot be used in the standard division for Action Air, but for everything else, it's really cool to have, and I definitely recommend it. It does really help with sticking to your targets and helps with accuracy. The sights, I would rate them to be awesome. The rear sight, although held in place by just one screw, it's like a hex screw. I put 400 rounds in it. It's still staying on pretty strong, so that's nice. And the combination of the hiney sights with the front sight I found really cool. So that's definitely the good of this pistol. And the front fiber is actually pretty well lit, pretty visible. So it's pretty good. The grip, yeah, the grip is great. I mean, unless you find one that is really rough on the surface and you have to file it down, other than that, the stippling is great. It feels secure. I was using it bare hands. It was fine. So the grip is nice. I might actually switch it out in my TM. The magwell is great. It's awesome to have. Helps with the reloads. It's profiled appropriately, I would say. Not much comment really. It's a magwell. It's awesome to have. So, like I mentioned before, the slight catch, the fact that it's contoured in a way that it's easy to pop and remove, and then, disassemble the gun. It's really handy, and it's great that they did it in this way in particular. The build quality, like I said, the build quality is awesome. I was very pleasantly surprised that it is that good, actually. TM compatibility, always a plus in high capas, obviously. This is still to be determined if it's that great in this particular case, but that will come in the next video. And obviously the price. I mean, it's really, this whole package for this amount of money is quite unmatched, I would have to say. Regarding the bad parts about the gun, what I found. So for me personally, since accuracy is very important to me, I did a test, and I'm just gonna show you this clip, and yeah, check it out. Okay, so I'm about 10 meters from the target, got a full mag of 0.3 BBs, and I'll be using the stock gun, and we'll see what the groupings are, and they should be pretty fine. So let's see. Just nice and slow, aiming at the center. Okay, this isn't too good, guys. To be honest, it's all over the place. Yeah, not great. So we're gonna have to definitely switch some parts out. On my gun, I would definitely hit all the alpha and then have some outlier, some flyers maybe, but this is just too random. Just for comparison, I'm gonna go bring my my normal TM, and I'll show you what that is going to look like. Okay guys, we're back. I replaced the target. Now I got my regular pistol with all the juicy upgrades, and we got a nice filled mag. And let's just do the same thing. So aiming center, and we'll see what the results will look like. Hold on. Check it. Okay. I can already see this is insane difference. Do you see this grouping? Let me just take this over to the other target. Fucking insane, man.
Okay, for Charlie. Not bad.
This is Army Armament on the left, and this is upgraded TM51 on the right. So unless I'll take out the parts and put them in the Army, this is what it looks like from the same shooter, same position, two different guns. It's 10 meters difference. 10 meters distance. It's insane. Yes, so accuracy not great out of the box, I would say. I mean, it is okay for like a human-sized target. That's why I said it's probably, this gun is out of the box best suited for just airsoft players to use as a secondary weapon. Because obviously you won't be, shooting alphas on the target. You'll be shooting at other players, so that should be fine. But still, I would definitely recommend putting in a precision barrel in this thing. Also, my thoughts are that it kind of cycles in a sluggish way, and I'm not sure if it's a matter of just putting in a better like a return spring, a reinforced spring for the BBU as well, maybe a short stroke kit, or just work on the hammer. But the cycling wasn't that great, and also the trigger, I found it to be quite stiff. Again, maybe it's due to the cycling speeds, or maybe it just requires a like a hammer job and additional work on the trigger. I don't know, but it felt slow, and I had difficulties pulling off like quick double taps, and this was very especially noticeable when I just switched over from the Army High Kappa to my TM one, where I could just pull off those double shots really fast with no problems. With this one, I had difficulties. So out of the box, it doesn't wobble. It's again well put together. It has like a good reset and all of that. It doesn't matter when it feels sluggish and you can't pull off quick double taps. Sorry, I mean, it's just the way it is. So that's another big no-no for me, because I'm really all about those double taps. So the stiff trigger. And another thing that I found annoying was that the mag release button was kind of stiff as well. And if you have small hands, that would mean that you would have to modify your grip to reach with your thumb to be able to put more torque on the button to release the magazine, which was annoying. And obviously I got like adjusted to it pretty quickly, but compared to my upgraded mag catch but like release button in my TM, this was a step down, honestly. Also, the short slide catch, annoying for small hands like mine. Though this isn't like a specific to the Army pistol, most of the high kappas have a small slide catch release, so that's just the way it is. You just gotta upgrade it to an extended one if you need to, like on a gold match. So the other thing that is possibly bad, but not necessarily, is the questionable or rather unknown reliability in the long run. Because obviously I've had this gun for a short time. I've only put like 400 rounds through it. I cannot say how well it will last in the future. The pot metal isn't really something to be optimistic about, but you never know. It will be probably dependent case by case how it will perform for you. And another no-no is that the frame and the slide are proprietary. Due to the unique design of the island barrel, you can't really use another frame in this pistol, or you can't really put another slide on it. So you're stuck with what you got. The upside is that the gun itself is so cheap that if any of those parts break on you, it will be cheaper to buy a whole new gun just for example, for the slide if it breaks, or for the outer barrel or whatever. Then, for example, buying an aftermarket TM or aftermarket aluminum slide for your TM high kappa. So that's just the way that it is. So this is pretty much it. Now I have this whole chart that I've written down because I think, kind of as conclusion, I think, like I said in the beginning, that the gun is really good, but it's not good for everyone. It's actually targeted at a specific type of person. In my opinion, for your regular, airsoft player who needs a secondary weapon, a pistol. And that niche is the biggest one, I think. So that makes sense, right? But if you are like me, someone who just uses the pistol for action air, or you use it for speed soft, or maybe you're a collector, then you should probably answer yourself some of the questions I wrote down, or rather statements, and just look at them and see for yourself if this is something that applies to you. So I'll just quickly go over each of them here. So from an action air perspective, first of all, you can't use this pistol in standard division, which sucks, but that's the way it is. You cannot have the compensator, which means in turn that if you want to use it for action air, you would immediately be put in the open division, in which case this pistol is too limited for the open division, since the open division is the one that is the most open for upgrades. So obviously you'll be competing against people that have red dot sights, 7-inch barrels, all the jazz in their pistols, and you're just this guy with this Army kappa. So unless you want to be in the open division just for the ammo capacity and you hate red dot sights, then maybe yeah. But then again, you should ask yourself if you are serious about competing or just want to do it for fun. Because if you're just for fun, then this gun will be good for you. If you're serious, then you should probably invest in the Gunsmith Bros just for the reliability aspect of it. It's just better put together, right? So from action air perspective, also I would say that this pistol is good for spare parts. Just in an instant, you can, if anything breaks on your TM, you can just swap out probably most of the parts from this and replace them, and just have a functional TM until you get your replacement parts. So donor gun, this is perfect Yeah. The questionable reliability for Action Air, having a reliable pistol and an accurate one is definitely something you're looking for. And this one, we don't know. Simply, it's too early to say. Um, so that's an open-ended question, I guess. And out of the box, the accuracy is low for Action Air. I would rate it. So unless you plan to immediately upgrade your your inner barrel to a precision one, I would probably stay away from this stock 4.3 barrel. So as you can see, it has some pros, it has some cons. It's up to you, up to your budget. I mean, the cost should be here as well. It's cheap, so it might be a good entry pistol for you. For like those speed stuffers out there, this one is a no-go for you guys unless you want the spare parts. Other than that, the slow rate or the lack of the slow rate of fire that you get with this pistol out of the box is totally unacceptable for you. I'm pretty sure, since you're spamming a lot. And the reliability aspect in second place I put down here. Yeah, I guess if you shoot that much and you like plug in your HPAs, I guess this gun will just not work. Stick to the TMs, to the upgraded ones. The low accuracy is probably something that you will not be too happy about either. So yeah, I guess for you it's just a donor gun, which still can be viable. I mean, $75 for some hard to find parts should be good. Now, the third category, your regular player, secondary weapon, don't really care much about it. You use it very rarely. Then yeah, this is definitely for you. I think it would be a great secondary. I mean, compatible with all the high kappa holsters out there. It's fine. I think the accuracy for human-sized targets is okay, and you should be good to go. The build quality is excellent. It is a bit heavy. I mean, if you're going to run with it, so just keep that in mind. It's customizable like any other high kappa. I'm pretty sure you can use all the other aftermarket parts that are mainly for looks if you want to. And yeah, mostly TM compatible, so we'll test that in the next video. But yeah, if you want to, make it look a bit different, then you probably can. Cheap, again, this is pro for any of the players written here. So I would be tempted, really. It's solid. And then I thought also maybe, like a collector, they definitely should get it. It looks awesome and it's cheap, so why not add it to your collection? So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think they did a really good job with this gun, and I hope you enjoyed this review. If you got any questions or comments, please write them in the section below, and I'll be doing the follow-up video where I'll be taking a closer look at all the internals and do the whole transplant thing I spoke about. So if you have any particular like requests for me to check or do, just type them in the comments. Subscribe so that you get notified when I put it out. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. After credits scene, guys, because I forgot about this. So for Action Air specifically, if you want an island barrel that will work for standard division, I found one, and check it. It's this guy over here. It's awesome, and yeah, it's actually my second favorite slide design. So I'm happy that it's out there. However, it's out of stock, and if you just look at this one again, it's in stock. I wonder why. I mean, the price, right? It's pretty much the same. Still quite expensive, right? But this one has way more applications than this one, considering that this one is standard legal and this one isn't. So yeah, that's your choice right there. If you really want to go like the high end stuff and be legal for standard division, this will be it, because this one doesn't have the compensator. The island is it's built into the fixed outer barrel, so there is no issues with the rules for the standard division. So that's my go-to, and I'll be hunting for that one. So yeah, keep that in mind. See ya.